with three things that you should know about reach. And from my perspective, it's important that we as researchers kind of know how great advertising works, because only then we can be true consultants to our marketing team and support them with not only measuring the effect of ads, but also with that creative process and coming in as guides. So, the first thing I want to share with you is the 95-5 rule. It was introduced by John Dawes of the Ehrenberg Bass Institute, and it states that basically only 5% of potential buyers are in the market at any given time. What does it mean? Think about all of us on the line here, right? We are probably shopping groceries, right? But at this point in time, we're very much not shopping groceries. We're in a webinar learning about ad effectiveness. We're not in a supermarket. But that doesn't mean that a retailer such as Target or Walmart should not advertise to us just because we're not currently in one of their stores. It means that for brands, it is important to also focus on the 95% on average of people who are not currently buying, who are not currently in a store, who are not currently in front of a shelf. Because if you're getting more ingrained into those people's brains, it will impact future sales. So the learning here is that you should really focus on, let's say, sophisticated mass marketing, right? Focus on the 95%. It's not about hyper personalization for the 5% that already are showing digital signs of intent to purchase from your product, like to purchase your product, but it's about focusing on those not in the market because they are the much bigger lever for brand growth. What ties in quite nicely with this is an all time classic, the 60-40 rule. So, this term was coined by Les Binet and Peter Field, and it was coined more than 10 years ago. And from my perspective, it's almost a great next step from the 95-5 rule, even though they were introduced in the different order. But this rule states that you should do both brand and performance marketing to reach both current buyers and potential buyers. And it therefore pretty much reflects this, the 95% that are not currently in market, that you should also reach them with long-term or longer-term brand advertising. And in fact, what previous or rather recent research shows is that if your brand is currently focused on performance only, for example, if you're a D2C online focused brand, moving to performance and brand will likely increase the ROI of your marketing efforts by up to 100%, right? So it's 30-ish percent on average, which is huge, especially if we're thinking about budget constraints. So you should really do both, right? Brand and performance. It's not and or, it's like it's really and. And while the ideal ratio, according to Binet and Field, is 60% brand and 40% performance, the perfect ratio for your brand will honestly depend on brand size, your category, and budget. So this is really just an inspiration, first finding to go deeper. Because to be honest, there is no silver bullet, unfortunately, when it comes to media planning and strategy. While you should focus on high reach activities, it doesn't mean that you should only use traditional channels, such as TV or out of home. And when you're doing performance, you shouldn't just do digital channels, but it's really about combining them and being mindful of what your goal is. Because according to the research by Bell and colleagues, depending on what your campaign goal is, you will have a different media strategy that will give you maximum effectiveness.